Okay, so here's all the various pieces of my air conditioner have been taken out. Um, right there, you can see that's the original compressor. I've swapped that out with the new one. The other component that I am going to be swapping out is a thermal expansion valve, which is this little piece right here. So yeah, it is not very big at all, but in order to get to it, there are a lot of pieces that you had to take out. So the other things that I have here are point out the compressor, I had to remove my glove compartment. That's the kickboard that's underneath the passenger area. This is the blower assembly, the part that is responsible for distributing air throughout the car. There's also another motor on there that changes whether it's pulling air from the outside versus recirculating air from the inside. This is another piece that routes where the air goes, the tray that goes on that. I think that's the evaporative core, that coil that's right there. That's part of the air conditioned pipes from inside the engine compartment area. Had to remove those two. Anything else significant? Of course, I have all of my screws. I've numbered and labeled them so I know the order in which I took them out, because when I put them back in, of course, they're going to go in a reverse order. So right now my car is in a bit of a state of disarray. I mean, if you look in there now, you can see where the glove compartment would be, wires hanging down everywhere. The engine compartment is not necessarily as obvious. The only thing that hints that I've removed anything is you can see the lower and high pressure lines there, and there's a little bit of the air conditioned system oil with the green dye in it that is spilled. Of course, this runs back into a hole that goes back into the passenger area, but first glance, that's not really something that would stand out. The new compressor that I put in is down there. You really can't see it while it's in place. But yeah, now that I've gotten everything taken out, I'm going to go ahead and replace that one little component and get everything put back in place, fill my car back up with refrigerant, and then we'll see whether or not I have a working air conditioning system. But yeah, this has been a lot of work, and it is freaking hot out here, which is all the more reason to work on this. Okay, cool. I have the pipe connected to the other side of the thermal expansion valve. I've got these other pipes reconnected and tied back down. I tell you, tightening this bolt is very difficult. You can see scratches from when I was trying to get some pliers fit over it. The largest wrench that I have is 21 millimeters, and those are larger than that. I still need to clean up. You can make out the green there. That's some of the oil and the dye. So I need to clean that up. But at this point, I can go ahead and attach a vacuum to it and get the vacuum pump started while I'm working on putting the rest of the parts back in the system. Of course, I had my screws labeled. So all of the screws from pressure tie down, the ones from on the inside of the engine, I put some of the blower pieces back in place. So from looking at the screws, you can see that I don't have too much left. So I'm going to go ahead and get my vacuum pump attached to this, get it running, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my blower and glove box back in place. If this vacuum pump test fails, then I'm going to have to start inspecting the pieces to see where I have a leak at. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that now. Something I just noticed as I'm about to put my blower back in is I see that the foam is starting to disintegrate. This isn't the first area on the car where I've seen foam disintegrating. Yeah, that just happens with time. This car is like 12 years old. So if I end up having to take this out again, I might end up replacing that. But for now, it's going to stay. I'm not going to worry about it since I don't even know if I have a working air conditioner yet. Okay. My car passed its vacuum test and we are running the AC now. You can see that it shows the outside temperature is 90 degrees. Unfortunately, the only thermometer I have is in Celsius, and I can't change my car over to the metric system. But you can see that is what? I'd say that's about 16 degrees Celsius. So that is pretty darn cool. 16 degrees Celsius is somewhere in 60 degrees Fahrenheit, somewhere around there. So yes, I now have a working air conditioner again. All of my pain and suffering was due to a failure in this component, the thermal expansion valve. So this is the old one. I don't need it anymore. I might go ahead and take it apart just to see what's in there, and see if I can find anything that suggests why it fell. The only thing that I really see is it looks like there's some type of contaminant that's in there. I don't know how that would get in there. So I can't tell either that's the contaminant or the old O-rings were black, so maybe that's also just residue left behind by the old O-rings. But I'm going to get this cleaned off and take it apart later on.